Hey guys, it's Brendan McKenzie back with your mobility session. We are working head to toe, but we're starting at the bottom, working our way from the bottom all the way up. And last week we did our hip mobility. What we're going to do today is we're going to work through the sides, our lats, and then into our thoracic spine. So we're going to go some spine mobility. All you need for equipment in order to do this is a foam roller and a chair, and preferably something to hang off of, but I'm going to show you guys how you can do it at home with a towel and a doorway as well too. And so this makes a really big difference with our spine mobility, especially in the thoracic spine where we want to be mobile, we want to be able to move there. And then also that makes a big difference with any type of overhead movements for us. And it also makes a really big difference with your respiratory system as well too. If you're tight in your thoracic spine and through the lats and all the intercostal muscles and everything like that, and what that's doing is it's really putting a whole bunch of pressure on our lungs, and it's going to make it harder for you to breathe. So if any of you guys are doing any endurance sports or anything like that, and you guys are following me, then do this stretch. Like I said, it's going to do this mobility series. It's not only going to help with any type of overhead movement, so both lifting, maybe swimming, throwing, anything like that, but also with your respiratory and your breathing as well too. So you need a roller, you need a chair, and then a mat. I'm going to start off with the roller first, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of trigger point for your lats. So we put the roller down here on the side. I'm going to lay down over top of it, and what I want to do is I want to put the roller right at the bottom of my armpit. I'm on my back slightly, you'll see. Not all the way on my back, but I want to hit my lats. So really where I want to hit is like the meat, okay? That soft tissue, and I'm just going to roll through here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll through 5 times. And see, I'm using my top leg just to leverage myself here. I'm rolling through here. While I'm rolling through, I'm looking for any tight spots, sore spots. If you're doing a lot of lat pull downs, swimming, rows, things like that, you're going to be a little bit more sore. Now, once I'm done 5 of those there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that tender spot. I'm going to hold myself on there, and I'm going to do 2 things. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that bottom hand that's on the floor, and I'm going to lift it up, come back down, lift it up. I'm going to do 5 of those like that. 4, 5, and then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to keep pressure on that point, and I'm going to saw the roller across my body, so I move my body forward, and then I move my body back, and I come forwards and back, and forwards and back. So basically what I'm doing is I'm really just sawing, although the roller doesn't move, I saw my body and my lat across the roller. So it's kind of pulling the lat away from our ribs and just kind of opening those ribs up. So that's the first thing you want to do. If you do both sides like that, then that's going to make a really big difference, again, with just kind of breaking up some of those scar tissue. So then when we are stretching, we're going to get to some of that, some of the muscle tissue, basically a little bit less of the fascia, essentially. When you guys are done that, we're going to put the roller here on the floor, and we're going to roll through our thoracic spine. This one is money. This one's huge. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the roller, I'm going to the bottom of my ribs, okay? And then from there, I'm going to go hands behind my head here. I'm going to lift my bum, and I'm just going to roll through there. So I'm going to roll through the ribs. Now, what I'm trying to kind of stay away from is low back extension. So I don't want to go on my low back and then arch my back here. Not a great position. I want to stay tight in my abs, and I'm going to roll through the thoracic spine. Now, as I do this, I'm going to work out my rhomboids and all the big muscles in the back. I can even get up into the traps as well too and work on that. I don't want to put pressure on my neck here either, because with both my low back and my neck, they're going to curve sort of the same way as the roller's pushing, and it can put a little bit too much pressure on us that way into extension. Once I'm done about 5 or so rolls like that, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the roller down to the bottom of my ribs, back kind of where I started, and I'm going to keep my head supported, and I'm going to curve my back over the roller. So just like that, mobilizing. And then from there, I'm going to move my hips out. I'm going to do it again in a different spot, and what's happening is now it's higher on my spine, and I'm going to work right through my thoracic spine to mobilize here. So I'm going to do anywhere between 5 and 10 of those. Okay, and again, this is something right here that you can do before workout. If I'm just moving through, it's something that works really well before. If it's something that I'm going to want to spend more time on and then static holding and hanging out here for a prolonged period of time, 30, 60, 90 plus seconds, then we're wanting to do that stuff after our sessions, okay? So that right there is awesome. That's all you need to do with the roller right there. When you've done that, you can put that roller off to the side. And then from there, we want to go through some spine articulation and some spine movement. So from here now, what we're going to do is we're going to go cat-cow. So I'm going to inhale, I'm going to lift my chin, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my stomach to the floor, and I'm going to let my chest fall through and almost pull my shoulder blades back together, lift that chin. So this right here is my cow position. I'm sticking my butt out. I'm going to do this on an inhalation. So I'm inhaling here. Then I'm going to exhale. I'm going to tuck my tail around the back, and what I want to do is create as big a curve as I can around that back. Then I'm going to inhale again, and all I'm doing here is working with my breath. 5 of these here. Tucking the tail, inhale. Get that spine moving. I'm going to do one more here. As I inhale, shoulders come together, chest comes up. As I exhale, I pull my shoulder blades apart, round the back, tuck my chin, tuck my tail. Excellent, just like that. Now, so I want to have nice thoracic mobility and flexion and extension, but I also want rotation in there as well too. So from there, really nice one. Then here is just on the ground on our sides. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just like I'm sitting in a chair. I'm going to take, I have my right leg on top, I have my right arm on top. I'm going to take my right arm, I'm going to open up here towards the ground behind me. Now, notice all of a sudden my knees are going to want to do this a little bit. That's because I'm tight in my thoracic spine, but way better. I'm going to do 5 of those there. My goal is to keep this leg down. As soon as I open up and that leg comes up, I'm now not mobilizing my thoracic spine. So I'm going to do 5 of those. For a lot of my athletes, this is too easy. So we take the bottom leg away, put this leg here on the ground, then we come up, and then we're rotating through there, just like that. We're going to do 5 aside. When you are done that, you're going to do what I call an arm sweep. So we go back to whatever position is challenging for us, and then we're going to take this top arm, we're going to sweep it over our head, just like a rainbow. Goes right over your head, down to your hip, here, up, and then over. And what I'm trying to do again is keep these knees together, and then I'm going to do 5 of those like that. So open it up, over, open it. Again, I'm getting nice thoracic mobility. I'm also getting it into my hips and the side. I'm also getting in the lat, in the shoulder, and here as I come around, I'm actually also going to get in the chest as well too a little bit. So we're going 5 of those there like that. When you're done there, really nice to get some side bends in, and a simple one is just here from a kneeling position, so I can come just right here, kneeling position, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left arm, I'm going to reach down towards the ground, and I'm going to take my right arm and I'm going to reach up and overhead now. So now I'm getting a little bit more intense because I'm bearing my weight while I'm doing it, reaching over and then coming back, reaching over and then coming back, and I'm going to do 5 aside like that. And you'll notice as I'm going over here, this is when I want to exhale as I'm going into that stretch. So that's 5 of those right there. Again, kind of getting into the side. From there, if we want to get a little bit more kind of full body into it, then really nice progression is I go here. I'm going to go Spinks Pose. So elbows underneath the shoulder. I'm going to hold here for 5 seconds. As I do this, I lift my chest up. I roll my shoulders back and together. I'm trying to open my chest up here. Okay, point the toes behind. I'm going to hold here, and then from here, I'm going to keep my knees on the ground. I'm going to sink back. I'm going to go into kind of a child's pose or a puppy pose here. So I press my hips back, head goes through my arms here, and my elbows stay down on the ground. Then if I want to kind of intensify that, I keep the elbows on the ground again as well. I hook my toes here. I'm going to press my hips up, and then I'm moving the hips back here, head going through the arms. Same thing, can just go 5 seconds, back into that Sphinx pose again, and then you do anywhere between 1 and 3 of those, okay, for sets. 5 seconds in each position. If you like it and you want to do it after your workout, hold any of those positions as long as you want to. Then we're going to go up dog, down dog. So now it gets a little bit more intense. So I'm going hands under my shoulders. Sphinx pose was elbows under my shoulders. Here, point the toes, press up into that up dog, chest up, roll the shoulders back. Okay, from here I can come into child's pose now with my hands on the floor, sinking back here, and then here, I'll do the same thing. I'll hold for 5 seconds there, let that hip fall through, and from here then I can just curl my toes underneath, take the hips, press them up, press them back, and then go into the down dog now. A little bit more intense, okay? But if we don't have the strength to go into that position, then you can do the exact same thing from the child's pose there. Now, I really like those two series. They kind of progress through. Something else that I love, which I'm going to show you guys next, which is kind of a bit of a game changer. This is one that Stu McGill is pretty fond of for increasing thoracic mobility, and Stu McGill is basically like the spine guru. So I definitely follow a lot of what he does and trust a lot of what he says just with the amount of research that he does. So here we're going to do two things. One is kind of the same as our child's pose on the ground, except we're going to do it here from a kneeling position on a chair. So now I'm going to go hips back here, let my head fall through, okay, just like that. And I can move through this, so I can come here and then relax, and then sink back down, and then relax and sink back down. And I could do 5 of those if I'm doing it before an activity. If I'm doing it after, I may just go there and hold there, okay? Now here what I'm getting is I'm going to get a lot of that lat and then thoracic spine mobility. What I'm not getting as much is kind of into our tricep. So if you're tight in your tricep and even in your serratus, then it's a really nice one then to go elbows on as well too. So I like to do both of these. Elbows go on the chair now, hips back here, and then from here I'll do the exact same thing. Now I take my hands, I'm going to bring my hands back here. If my hands are out here, it might as well be the same position as your arms straight out. So bend here, bring the hands back, let that head come through, and then you can move through it. Come down, arch that back, and you can sort of see that through this session, I've just got a little bit more intense all the way through, and we're getting that spine moving a little bit more, but I didn't start there at the beginning. The last thing that I'm going to show you guys, and I'm just going to demo on the chair so you can kind of get an idea of it. I don't have a setup where you can see a door, and maybe I'll post it for you guys in another video. But the last thing that we should be doing is hanging. And so basically, you know, if you think of where you came from, where we've evolved from, we evolved from the trees. And so our shoulders are designed to hang, and if we don't hang, we're stiffening up, we're getting tight in the shoulders basically, and same thing in the lats and everything like that. So if you don't have a bar or a tree or something nearby that you can hang on, then what you can do at home is you can take a towel and you can wrap it on the top of a door, okay, just like this, and then essentially what we do is with that towel on the door, then you just hang from that. Now again, it's a little tough to see just kind of with where I am basically, but essentially what I do is I just come into a squat or even kind of sit down, hold onto that towel, and then I just hang from the door basically. And then when we're hanging like that, you can hang one arm, you can let one arm take more of it, you can pull to the other side and then stretch through there. And the hang is one that you can hang for 30, 60, you know, kind of up to 3 minutes basically at a time potentially. Starts to get hard on the arms if we're holding that long. But the cool thing with hanging is you're not only getting mobility, but you're also getting strength in there as well too. And I found a really big difference with my muscle ups, my pull-ups, and anything that I do from a hanging position, not from practicing those exercises, but just from hanging in general. Really improved the health of my shoulders, and then also that range of motion, but also really improved the strength in there as well too. So again, this is our thoracic mobility, your lat mobility, and kind of even into the sides and the obliques. And if you guys find that you're tight in there, practice that. You know, throw that in about 1 to 2 times a week. Put it in before your workouts when you're doing anything overhead, swimming, kind of anything like that. And yeah, keep at it, keep moving. Movement's life. Okay, bye.